Hi everybody, welcome back to another episode of our Mystical Wellness podcast. Today we have a really exciting, lovely guest with us. We are joined by Maureen Wycherley, the founder of joyousliving.co.uk, a soulful sanctuary for those ready to embrace deep healing, conscious living, and joyful transformation. Maureen is a certified Access Consciousness practitioner and course facilitator, offering both powerful one-to-one sessions and certified training in Access Bars, Access Energetic Facelift, and Access Body Process, which have consciousness expanding tools. So Maureen empowers clients to release limitations, clear energetic blocks, and step into greater ease, clarity, and joy. Maureen and I are going to be co-hosting some courses here in Merseyside in September, so we're going to be chatting about that a little bit this evening. So thanks, Maureen, for joining us. How are you?
Thank you, Julia. Thanks for having me. I'm absolutely fine, thank you. Yep, I've just come back from a 4-day foundation course up in the Lake District, which is one of the programs that you can do after Access Bars. And that's really looking at breaking away all the foundations of which you run your life and then making space to make new choices. So yeah, a very, very good 4 days.
That sounds amazing. You do that quite a lot, actually, don't you? Foundation class. You
Yeah,
do it a
so
couple
I
of times a
host
year.
that. Yeah, I host that just about every year. And then a lot of the people, a lot of the ladies who take bars classes with me then go on to do foundation when they're ready. So yes, I mean, there are a lot of facilitators in the UK facilitating that class. But yes, I normally host one every year.
That sounds amazing. Tell us about your 70 by 70 that you've been doing this year.
Do you really want to hear about that?
Yeah.
Okay, so yes, I'm 70 in December. So I set myself a bit of a challenge at my birthday last year, which is in the beginning of December. And I thought, what can I do that's a bit different? I don't really want to plan a party. I don't particularly like big parties as a thing for me. So I thought, do you know what? I'm going to have a challenge of 70 things in the year and see if I can challenge myself to do lots of different things. And I have done lots of different things. Some of it's involved travel, but not all of it. And for instance, one of my things that I'm doing, I'm having a tattoo tomorrow because I don't have any tattoos.
So am I. I'm getting a tattoo tomorrow in the
Are
morning.
you?
I'm going to have to face. You won't be able to see, but I'm getting a scorpion on my left arm.
All right, I'm having a bracelet, like a charm
Oh,
bracelet,
nice.
with lots of things that represent my life on it. So that's one of the things I'm doing tomorrow. And I've
Wow.
done all sorts of crazy things. I did a wing walk to raise money for spinal injuries. My husband's in a wheelchair, and spinal injuries were an amazing organization for us when he first had his accident. So I raised £1,100 for spinal injuries a few weeks ago.
Now, that's a bit
Oh.
scary, actually standing on a plane. So how did you get through the fear of that?
Um, I have to say it isn't the scariest thing I've done.
Wow.
Um, yeah, so I thought it might be. I thought it might be the scariest thing I would do this year. But it wasn't. No,
Really?
it was quite tame, really.
Oh, wow.
I think I think a more scary thing I did was climb one of the mountains in Scotland this year in gale force winds and
Oh my
rain.
gosh.
I
Wow.
think that was more scary because that ended up being almost rock climbing by the time we got to the top. So
Mm.
yeah. So a lot of the
Wow.
things I've done have been quite close to home. Um, and there are a few other things that have involved travel. And later in the year, I'm doing some more traveling as part of that 70 by 70. I did things like pottery tasting, throwing up my first pot. And I've just been to local places like local RSPBs that I've never been to, local castles that I've never been to. So, it's not all really big stuff. And I've hosted dinners and yeah, all sorts of crazy things.
What was the highlight of the year so far?
Um, I think the highlight of the year so far, my brother came over from Australia and we did the North Coast 500 in Scotland. Um, I think that was amazing because we had the most amazing weather. Um, and it's somewhere I hadn't been before. So yeah, I think that's probably so far my highlight. Yeah.
Yeah. And with you being 70, and people are going to watch this and say, there's no way she's 70, right?
Yeah, I really am.
Is it because of the Access Energetic facelift?
It's definitely got a lot to do with the facelift, yeah.
Because
So
I'm 50 in a couple of months, and nobody believes I'm 50, and I'm an Access facelift practitioner, so yeah, no one
yeah,
believes it.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the access facelift is such a powerful process.
Mhm.
When I was just to give you an idea of what that's like, to be a facilitator, part of that you have to do 20 facelifts for people. And one of the things that I've always hated was having my photograph taken and being on camera, being in a video or anything. And just doing the 20 facelifts as part of the training, that completely changed. And the other thing that I noticed about my face is my eyes were open wider. They've always been quite narrow. And yeah, it's that facelift is more like a life lift, not just a facelift.
And because when we do Access consciousness work, we're giving and receiving, so that's quite unique. Tell us how
Yes.
that works. Yeah.
Yeah, so when you're working with somebody with any of the access processes, whether that's access bars, access facelift, or the access body processes, it is a gifting and receiving. It's not a doing to somebody else. So when you are gifting, you are in total allowance of what that person is going to choose. There's no agenda, there's no expectations, there's no intentions. It really is about being in complete allowance for that person to let go of or embrace as much or as little as they want to. And there's very few modalities that provide that amount of space for people. And bodies just absolutely love it. Yeah.
So tell everyone who's not met you before how you got into the Access consciousness work.
Okay, so 13, 15, 16 years ago now, I was living in Greece, and well, my husband had an accident and ended up being tetraplegic. So we had to come back to the UK. We were homeless. Well, he wasn't, he was in hospital. I was homeless. And we had to start a life again, really. Basically, we had to get a home again, create a home again, create a life again. And 18 months after that, I felt like my life was literally going down the toilet because all I was doing was doing up a house and being a carer. And then I started yoga in the local village, and the yoga teacher was also a Reiki master. So I went along for some Reiki sessions, and I'd never had any energy healing. I'd never done any kind of energy work. And it really was quite amazing just how much that let my body relax from all the stress from the last 2 years from my husband's accident. And I was so amazed with that. I actually went on and did the Reiki training. And I did Reiki 1 and Reiki 2 in about 6 months. And then a year later, I did Reiki Masters. And then just after I got my Reiki Masters, I was introduced to Access Bars. And that was like energy healing on a completely different level to Reiki. It was, for me, it was just off the charts. And not only did it create that space of peace and relaxation, the bars works by dissipating all the negative thoughts, feelings, and emotions that you're carrying around all the time. And once I'd been having the bars for a while, it really let me have the space to say, okay, this might be my life now, but what do I want to create? What do I want to create a life as? So I did the training to be a bars facilitator, and I didn't start teaching bars classes till about, I don't know, 6 to 8 months after I actually did the facilitator training. But as soon as I started teaching those classes, and the interesting thing about the Access Consciousness classes as well is they are almost like a co-facilitated class. They don't have an agenda or anything. There is a manual that goes with it, with all the classes, and there are things that you cover in each of the classes. But the classes are very much made up of the energy from the people who have come to the class. And working in that way really showed me that this is what I want to create, or this is what I wanted to create from moving on from there. And now I have quite a big community around me. I'm bringing on other bars facilitators in the area now, other bars body process practitioners and facelift practitioners. So it's absolutely fabulous the way that the consciousness, when you're doing this kind of work, I would say consciousness has your back. The universe has your back. And the tools from Access Consciousness really, they really set you up to be in that place of receiving everything that the universe has to offer. And I think that's one of the differences from a lot of the other modalities that I've looked at. So that's how I got into it. And the more that I teach, the more I learn. I learn something at every class that I teach. And yeah, I just love to see the growth that people have once they've done a bars class or a body process class or a facelift class, and they start taking that out into the world. Yeah, it's just
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah, it was really life-changing for me and very synchronous the way I got into the access bars as well. And you just happened to be next to me after somebody had said I need to get my bars run, and I was like, okay, this is weird. What's going on here? But I physically heard and felt something release from my hopes and dreams center, and I can't even explain that to people. I felt it go. I heard it in my mind go. And it completely changed. Tell us about those 32 points that are the access bars.
Yeah, so the access bars are made up of 32 points on the head. And the access bars therapy is a light touch therapy, not a pressure touch therapy. And behind each of those points that you're touching, what you're doing is you're dissipating the energy from behind each of those points. And if you look at energy as being thoughts, feelings, emotions, where those thoughts, feelings, and emotions are both running around in your head, but also physically locked into your body. So by touching each of the 32 different points on the head, it's dissipating the electromagnetic charge behind each of those points. And at the very worst, having your bars run, it's called having your bars run. It's called the bars basically because it's literally just like a bar from one side of your head to the other. And there's nothing more complex about it than that. And the worst case scenario in having your bars run is you will feel so relaxed and just like you've had, a fantastic massage. At the best, it can change your whole life, even just in one session of you, as you've just said, Julia. And can I just tell you a story to just reinforce that? So about probably towards the end of last year, a lady came to me. I can't remember how she found me now, but she traveled over an hour to come and have her bars run. And her life was extremely difficult for her at the time. She was married to a general in the army, and he was away a lot. But she couldn't decide whether she should stay with him, whether she shouldn't stay with him, whether she should set out and create a new life. And she was really, really stuck. So she came and had her bars run, and something occurred during that session, because I'm not always aware of what's happening for the person on the table. I am just being that space of allowance for that person to choose whatever they want to choose through having the session. And when we'd finished the session, she sat there for a little while, and this question came to me, and I can't remember what the question was, and it doesn't really matter what the question was at the moment. But that question came to me as a result of running her bars. And it was almost like it took her back to a point in time where something happened, where she'd given all of her power away. And she was set at that point to have a fabulous career. And she knew from that one question that had come to me, she knew exactly the day and the day and the date and the circumstances and everything that happened on that day. And it was like, wow, it was like all the rest of her life from that point to the point that she saw me was just lifted off her. And she knew exactly what she was going to do. So that kind of example is like, not everybody has that level of change in one bar session, but that is what's available to
Yeah,
people if they
that's
want to choose it.
amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's a lot of questions that we work with. How do you bring the questions into your work with your clients?
So the questions for me, and that really depends on where the person is when they come to have their bars run for the first time. So a lot of my clients come to me first with anxiety, stress, depression. So the first time I run their bars, I might not give them any other tools, because just that bringing them down from that high level of anxiety is enough for one session. Because having your bars run, for people that are very anxious, very stressed, have got a lot going on, they might not be sleeping, they might not be eating properly, they'll have pain in their body from the stress that they're experiencing. The fact then that they get up off the table and their mind is quiet for the first time, sometimes for the first time in their whole life, that's enough for them to take in. As they keep working with me, I will give them questions, I will give them tools to take away to play with. So one of the tools that I will give them, one of the early tools I will give them, is a tool called Who Does This Belong To? And this is also in the bars class, and we go into this in quite a lot of detail. And if you just think, we are all in the sea of energy, we're all in the same sea of energy, and we're all broadcasting thoughts, feelings, and emotions. So therefore, we're also receiving all of these thoughts, feelings, and emotions. And just because something pops into your head, or even if you get a sensation in your body, or you suddenly feel a very strong emotion, it's not necessarily yours. We're all very sensitive to the energies around us. And to suddenly understand that all of those thoughts, feelings, and emotions don't even belong to us, therefore we don't have to do anything about them, is a huge revelation to a lot of people. Because most of us, and I did this all the time before I knew these tools, a thought would pop into my head. I thought I had to do something with it. I had to fix it. I had to argue with it. I had to align and agree with it. But I couldn't just let it go because it was mine, right? Everything that popped into my head was mine. And that's just not the case. So that's one of the tools that we work with. And there are lots of other tools very similar to that. So they're all energetic tools, and all the tools in Access, nearly all of them are questions.
That's amazing. Tell us about the body processes, because I know there's a lot, and we've already done 2 this year, which were really awesome. And then we're going to do another training day with 2 more body processes. So what's the difference between Access bars and the body processes that we're working with?
Okay, so the access bars are working on 32 points on the head, and they're dissipating all of the thoughts, feelings, and emotion, all the electromagnetic charge in your head. The body processes, we place our hands at some point on the body, and each of the body processes has specific hand positions, and we're asking a specific energy to run in the body. And it's almost like our bodies know these energies. Well, our bodies do know these energies. We're energetic beings at the end of the day. And it's almost like we're reminding the body that it knows these energies. And the energies that are running can be working on a myriad of different things, anywhere from boosting your immune system to removing all the judgments you have about your body size or body shape or weight, or even all the points of view you have around money, for instance, and just literally everything in between. And the access body processes, some of them have really weird names. Access consciousness is a weird thing at the end of the day. There's some weird stuff in it, but it's very, very pragmatic. And the access body processes, you can run them on yourself and you can run them on other people. They are more powerful if somebody else has their hands on you and are running those processes. But literally, I was running a body process on myself last night, and one of the hand positions was on your lower abdomen, the dantian area. And I'm not kidding, it felt like things were literally shifting in that area as I was running that body process. And I've been doing this quite a long time now, and even I'm going, wow, that's powerful, that one. So yeah, and the body processes, again, allow the body to have a different space, and a different space to choose, and it's working towards you and your body having a deeper relationship with each other. If you think about it, what is the one thing that's going to be with you for the whole of your life? It's your body, right? And we never give it the credit that it deserves. And your body is very, very aware. So the more we run these body processes, the more our body can start to talk to us and be our ally, rather than something you are constantly judging for whatever you think is wrong with it.
And so we're looking at doing body processes that are going to work on the personalities of the body. Can you tell us a bit about that, how that works?
Sure, yeah. So if you think about it, we all employ lots of different personalities for different parts of our life. So who are you when you're with your parents or your family? Who are you when you're at work? Who are you when you're with your children? Who are you when you're out socializing somewhere? Who are you when you decide what you're going to eat, when you're going to eat, and how you're going to eat? Who are you with money? What are all the points of view you have around all of these things? So when we're running it's elimination, eradication of all personalities locked in the body, it's slowly taking away all of these different personalities that all have their different points of view around what's right and wrong, good and bad, and what you should be doing and what you shouldn't be doing, to really allow just you to shine through. So what would it like if you, just being you all the time, what would that be like for you? And I can tell you, it would be a gift to the world for you to just be you.
That's really powerful, because it's true, because I'm like the youngest child in my family, so my sisters are 7 and 5 years older, so they're always going to see me as that child, so I'm always going to kind of respond in certain ways and things like that. And yeah, really interesting, so I'm looking forward to that. How does it, like, when you talked about the food and we're thinking about weight loss, and because I've been through trauma, my body's put on layers of kind of, layers to protect me, so will it be able to help me with things like that, kind of resetting my body?
So how many personalities have you employed to bring all those layers in? How many personalities have you employed to even think that you need that protection. So this is how it starts to break down. The judgment that you have employed the personalities, because it's not right and it's not wrong. It just was at the time.
Yeah.
So breaking down the judgments and giving your body the space now to start choosing for it, irrespective of all of these different personalities and points of view that they're actually putting on the body. Okay, because the body will respond to your point of view. It has no point of view about your point of view. It says, oh, you want protection? I'll give you protection. I don't have a point of view. However, after a certain amount of time, if you're not allowing the body to be itself, its normal, healthy self, it will start screaming in some way or another. It will start creating issues in the body, dis-ease in the body, and this is where dis-ease comes from, where we have not looked after the good energy in the body. We've just layered up judgment upon judgment upon judgment in lots of different ways. So by running the personalities body process, we're slowly stripping away all of that. So you just being you and having your relationship directly with your body without all of these other personalities in the way can make such a massive difference.
Yeah, fantastic. What was the other body process we were looking at today? Sorry, was it an abundance one?
Demolecular manifestation. Oh, hang on a minute. Molecular demanifestation, molecular manifestation, I think it was.
So how can we manifest with body process? Yeah.
Well, who is your biggest ally in life? Who has your back?
Me. My body.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Your body. Yeah.
Yeah.
And how much? So when you start working with all of these body processes and we start stripping away the layers of the personalities, of the judgment, of the points of views, and all our points of views are locked in our body, all the thoughts, feelings, emotions are locked in our body. When we start stripping all of those away, the body is an incredibly aware organism, and it will give you a lot of information of what's going on around you. It has its own awarenesses. So we have our being, which is infinite, absolutely completely infinite, and we have our body. And we can work really closely together with the infinite being and the body once we start stripping away all of these different elements that we're carrying around all the time. Does that answer your question? If it doesn't,
Yeah, I think so.
rephrase.
Because the body and the being thing, we got to experience that on our last body process class, and I do remote view and bilocate my kind of being, and so when I got to kind of release myself and really expand myself out and look down on where we were, it was amazing. It's like it unlocks something for me that allows me to remote view faster and easier and things like that, and then still return to the body in a safer way as well. It was really cool. I wondered if we could take some questions from the ladies about things that maybe they've got going on, and then you could see how that relates into access tools, perhaps.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yep.
Lee, did you want to ask a question?
No, I'm good to talk.
You're good? Okay. Violet? So if anyone has a question, you can use your voice. Because I don't want to... Have you got a question for Maureen? Really? Nothing? Okay. Marie?
Yes, only to say, I think it's a fascinating subject, and it's kind of, do you think that you got into it accidentally, or were you looking for something? and it kind of came.
Do you know, I think it found me.
Yeah.
I think when, I mean, yes, I was starting to look for something because my life was in a terrible mess, quite frankly. I wasn't looking for access specifically, but I do believe, and this is how a lot of people come to me as well to learn these tools, is that the right thing and the right person finds you when it's
Yeah.
the right time.
Yeah, I feel that too. Yes, no, it's really interesting, and it's something I never really knew anything about till I started listening to Julia mention it from time to time.
Yeah. One of the things about access consciousness that when I got into it a little bit further was the speed of change that's available for people, the pragmatic nature of it, because I'm a very pragmatic person. I'm not somebody that deals with a lot of airy fairy stuff, really. I like to work with things that work on a pragmatic level. And all of the access tools do that for me. I've just seen the most amazing change in a few people in the foundation class in the last few days. And you know what they were saying after that class was they just couldn't believe the speed in which they could let things go with the processing tools with access, and how quickly their world opened up. And that's what people find when they have their bars run, and when people become a bars practitioner so that they're gifting bars to other people. Every time they gift that process, they're receiving that as well. And that's one of the amazing things about access, is the fact that every time you gift a process, you receive from that as well.
Yeah, no, I can understand that.
So when I've been gifting and receiving, it's allowed me to experience a level of bliss that I never really thought I would ever experience. And that has been really surprising for me in the last couple of years, that I can go so relaxed, so deep while I'm still consciously aware with my client. And it just really has allowed me to change from being a very angry young person to a very much more calm adult, I think, now. Has there been a surprising change for you, Maureen?
Yeah, it's interesting that you talk about the anger element of it, because yeah, after what happened to my husband, I was angry. Yeah, I was angry all the time, and I was exhausted from being angry. I was exhausted from being stressed and angry all the time. And now I live my life from a place of just being happy. I choose to be happy no matter what's going on around me. And I'm never drawn into the drama and trauma of other people's lives. And yet I can hold space for people who are going through the most horrific of times sometimes. And that ability to hold that space, but not trying to fix things. So one of the things that we say quite clearly in Access is we're not here to fix anybody. We're not here to fix anything. We're here to hold the space for people to choose whatever they choose. And that's really quite unique, because even, you know, if you just think about some of the conversations that you have with your friends, we're always trying to offer something to fix something. And that's not how I work. And allowing that space for people to know that they know. So in Access, we're working from that point of empowering people to know that they know. I'm not here to fix anybody. So that point that you made about being angry, so there are a lot of things in Access consciousness that we call distractor implants, and anger is one of those. So anger's never the thing. Anger's always the thing that's hiding something else. And this is what we learn with the access tools is, okay, well, there's two things here that are really interesting. So if we listen to our language, the first thing in a situation like that we would normally say is, I feel angry. Okay. If as soon as you go to that language, I feel angry, you buy that anger lock, stock and barrel. It's yours. So now it's mine. I've got to fix it. But if it wasn't mine in the first place, like we were talking about earlier, you can't fix it because you can't fix what isn't yours. If you just turn that word around, feel, to perceive, I perceive anger. We're aware of the anger, but we're not buying it into our body. Then we can say, okay, I'm aware of that anger. So what is this? And there are a number of questions that we can go down. We can look at what's underneath it, because anger's never the thing. That's one of the things that I've found really, really interesting working with people using the access tools. It's never the thing that's on the surface that's the thing, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. I wanted to talk a bit about ease, because last year I was having a tricky time at work and everything was starting to collapse around me. And one of the things you said, is this the change that you've been asking for? Then can we allow it to come with ease, please? And I will never forget that, what you said there. And then so I moved into more of a state of allowance, because the universe was trying to show me a better life in a way, and I was resisting. So tell people about the ease and how we bring that in with access consciousness.
Okay. So one of the questions that we can always ask, if in situations where we think, oh, I'm just creating a shit show here, what am I creating? Is what else is possible? What else is possible always opens up the energy and the space. Every time we come to conclusion or a very fixed point of view, we're closing that down. We're closing everything down to that point of view. The universe has your back. If you have that conclusion that this is a point, this is a state of mind, or this is what's happening, the universe is going to support that. It has no point of view what you choose. It will support your point of view. So if we then bring in what else is possible here, and can we have this with ease, please? Then the universe is going to rearrange itself so that there is ease in your world. And there's, it's a bit like a mantra, but I don't really like the word mantra, but there's a mantra that you can use in the morning and at night. All of life, not just the happy bits, all of life, the rubbish bits, the hard bits, the nice bits, the easy bits, all of life comes to me with ease, joy, and glory. And glory in this context is just the exuberance of life. So 10 times in the morning, 10 times at night, all of life comes to me with ease, joy, and glory. All of life comes to me with ease, joy, and glory. And I stress the all, because we're in a human construct here. And stuff does happen. Life doesn't happen to us, we create it, but we choose to get into other people's drama, other people's trauma. We choose to tap into all the problems of the world that we can do nothing about. So what if we step back and use that mantra, all of life comes to me with ease, joy, and glory? Just try it, play with it, see.
Yeah, it's probably one of the only things I use now, to be honest. I mean, I do my I am the violet flame mantra. That's my big thing, because I work with violet flame. But the other one is my access mantra. Yeah. So for anybody who's thinking about doing the training but they're not sure, what kind of message did you want to leave for them?
Nobody has ever regretted learning access bars. Nobody. I'll just tell you this really quick story. It's funny. So this lady learned access bars with me, probably about 3 years ago. And she's sort of been a practitioner and then stopped a bit and seen clients and stopped and seen clients and stopped and seen clients. And I hadn't seen her for a while. And she came to a swap, I think must have been towards the end of last year. And she hadn't been using the access bars for a little while. And she had a bar session. She got up off the bed and she said, "Why have I not been using my access bars?" She said, "I've just been on a full week ayahuasca retreat and I feel better from that, having 1 hour of bars."
Yeah, I can totally relate to that as well. Because people
Yeah.
spend all that money going around the world doing all those plant medicines and everything. And I'm just like, I'd rather just run the bar.
Have my bars. So, Pete, the access bars, the last bars class I did was for a mum and a daughter. The daughter was 7. She was amazing, this little girl. So access bars works for anybody from birth to death. The only time I would not run bars on somebody is if they were under the effects of alcohol or drugs. And that's the only time I would not run them. It's absolutely brilliant for anybody that's suffering any trauma, people who don't have good sleep patterns, people who don't make good choices in their life, people who have a lot of negative self-talk, ADHD brain. It's the only thing in my whole life when my brain is quiet is when I've had my bars run. And having my bars run over this period of time now that, we're talking a few years, quite a few years now, is that I can now live in that space of quiet and peace in my brain. There's not a lot going on in there most of the time.
I know, it's hard to have a conversation with you sometimes. What do you think about that, Maureen? Oh, I don't have a point of view.
Yeah, I don't really have a point of view about that.
So I'm still striving to get to that point. Yeah.
It is, yeah. I mean, because that's what I chose. My life was chaotic. I've struggled with ADHD all my life. I've worked in very, very stressful corporate jobs. And yeah, the access bars has just changed everything for me. And I just see it change everything for so many people. And just recently, one of the ladies who learned bars with me a couple of years ago, it might actually be going on for nearly 3 years now. She learned it with her daughter. Her daughter didn't actually want to learn it, I have to admit. Her daughter was, how old are you when you do GCSEs in this country? Sorry,
So my son's going to be 16 and he's going into his year 5, which they call year 11 now.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I think she must have been right at the beginning then of whatever year it was for GCSEs. Anyway, she was coming up to do her GCSEs. None of her teachers, not one, said she would pass any of her exams. Not one. And her mum was running her bars constantly over that last year and leading up to GCSEs. And she got amazing results. She then went on to college, did the thing that she absolutely wanted to do. She's now got her license, bought a car, and set up her own business.
Yeah, that's amazing. Yeah, that's amazing. Reminding me I need to run my son's bars.
Yes,
Yeah,
do,
for sure.
Seriously.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, children can also learn this technique, can't they, as well?
Yes,
You get them
children.
coming in, yeah.
So the youngest I've taught is 7, and I've had a few 7-year-olds. Children are amazing at access bars. They learn it instantly. They run people's bars really quickly. Their bars run really quickly because they haven't had the lifetime of all the points of view and all the rubbish that we've collected. And children can be quite cruel. at times, and it's hard time. It's very hard for children at school when they don't fit in. So any children that are undergoing that kind of stress in their school life, the bars is amazing because they start to learn these tools like, who does that belong to? You know, all the thoughts that I'm picking up of all these people around me because I'm quite sensitive. Well, who does that belong to? Well, they're not mine. You know, just that one tool alone can really help a child view their world differently.
That's amazing. So before we finish, was there anything else you wanted to mention before we wrap things up?
Come and learn the bars.
Yeah.
So my passion is to have a bars practitioner on every street.
Yeah.
Do you remember, like in the old days, they would have a healer, a plant healer or a sage or something,
Yeah.
and there would always be one in every village,
Yeah.
and they were the healing person. And I want Access Bars to be out there like that because I see the miracles that it creates constantly.
Yeah, I agree.
Learn the bars, you'll never regret it.
So the next class that we're running is on the 25th of September, and it's here in Merseyside. So Maureen's coming over to facilitate. But if you've already done a class with Maureen, are we still having a second facilitator come in?
Yes.
Yeah,
As long as we've got enough people in the class, we've got a second facilitator coming.
Yeah.
So if anybody has done their first class, then this will count as a second class, and then they can go on and do one more class and be a facilitator if they want to.
Yeah, which is what I'm hoping as well. We've got a beautiful environment as well. We're in Vale Park and it's a lovely setting. So I'm looking forward to that. So that's Thursday, the 25th of September. And then on Friday, we're running the body process, giving and receiving. So 2 different techniques as well. So if you wanted to book in, you can just go to Maureen's website, which is joyousliving.co.uk, and head to her training section. And she's got all her different courses there as well. So brilliant. This has been great. Thank you so much for joining us.
I'm really looking forward to coming back. That's a beautiful training room that we used last time.
Yeah, so really lovely to be right in those beautiful gardens, right by the River Mersey. Oh, yeah, so good. Yeah, I'm excited about that. Oh, thank you so much for joining us, and I hope to get you back on at some point as well. Talk about Facelift maybe. Maybe we can run Facelift later in the year or early next year, because Facelift for me was quite transformational. But even when we did the body process last time, it was as if my energy field cleared and those downloads I've been waiting for, ding, 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 just started to come in. And it was the same when we did Facelift. I started to get downloads coming in from source. It was amazing. A massive upgrade for me energetically. Yeah, which is not, it's not for everybody, but personally, that's what I was experiencing. So it's really helped me a lot. Yeah, brilliant. Thank you so much.
Well, thanks for having me. Nice to meet you guys again, and hopefully we'll see you on one of the classes.
Brilliant.
Thank you so much.